All right, Joseph. So how did your exam go? Talk me through you did really well, but just talk me through how you did, if you don't mind.
Yeah. The exam went well. I didn't get as much sleep as I think I probably should have. The first,
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't really follow that rule. I was probably up till about 12:31. Um, but so like the first half of the exam, basically took everything I had just to stay focused and try to work through the problems, break them down. And then after the 10-minute break, it was just butter, just easy, flew through it. I was surprised how much easier the second half was
Really?
for me. Yeah, I was I was just flying through the questions. It was like tunnel vision on the answers. I'm got in that zone for some reason.
Nice. What do you think
Um,
got you into the zone, dude?
um, probably that last coffee woke me up a little bit, and
All right.
just being able to get woke up a little bit, got a little more refreshed, and got through a certain pile of questions. I got into that mindset where it was just it was like the runners high or whatever I guess they
Yeah.
call it, where it doesn't hurt anymore.
Yeah.
You've reached that point where you're running, and now it's fluid. It
Yeah.
was a lot easier, and I was just going through them a lot quicker, and I was actually surprising myself with how I was breaking them down pretty quickly, and the
Nice.
way I was breaking them down, and some of the some of the hard questions broken down, stuff that we've been doing,
Yeah.
and Frank and I've been doing, that
Yeah.
really helped. Being able to look for the most proactive answer,
Yeah.
staying away from the fire that guy type
Yeah.
mindset. Um, so that really helped a lot.
That's
Um,
awesome, dude.
yeah, being able to determine how PMI thinks, because I mean, the book, and the PMBOK, all the books you read, and it's like you just learned, Japanese, and now you need
Yeah.
to know how to explain Japanese stereo instructions, but by understanding how PMI thinks. And
Right.
it's like, well, I could talk you through it in Japanese, but now I also need to know, what cable goes where, why it goes there, all that
Yeah.
stuff. So it's a lot. That really helped. I think probably one of the most. Um, I was also very surprised at how many change order questions there were.
Yeah.
I feel like there must have been 40 change order
Yeah.
questions. What to do? Change order.
That's cool.
Yeah, so that surprised me. I didn't expect that many. That really stuck out.
That's awesome, man.
Um, yeah, yeah.
So, like, keep going. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm glad about your program. Is I mean, I didn't crack the PMBOK. I didn't have to. I listened to the audiobook twice.
Nice.
Um, I do a lot more driving than I'm able to be stationary. Um, and if I am stationary, I'm working where I can't have the distractions. But
Yeah.
yeah, going through that twice, going through the videos,
Hmm.
and then that 7 day at the end where I actually got to see how the questions were broken down,
Yeah.
it just sealed it.
That's awesome, man. I'm glad it was helpful. And you mentioned a lot on the Frank call. So, like, going through these 7 day accelerators, seeing those videos. And then I know you spent time with, like, me on some of the calls, but like mostly with Frank and them. How was that helpful to work through questions with Frank?
Um, I think it was good how being able to listen to how other people break it down and having that soundboard.
Yeah.
Uh, Sometimes I wish I didn't get to see people's answers pop up, because then
Yeah.
that messes with you. But yeah, being able to see that, and then being able to explain it myself, and see someone that knows the topic agree or say, backpedal a little bit.
Yeah.
You were on the right track, and kind of by doing that, learn how to navigate questions better.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I know you're super busy, like as we talked earlier, and you had to get this thing and nail it the first time. Like, I hope that it like helped you like use the time a little bit better, or at least get like a checkup to say like, oh, I got it. Like I'm following the right process and those kind of things. So did it help anything on like time management as far as like making the most use of your time, like being able to get that insight from Frank and others? That help?
Oh, with the 7 day or just with the program in general?
Either one, 7 day or the program. Yeah.
The program in general, I would say was tremendous. I mean, it tackled every aspect of it, and it kept bringing you back to ground zero with the simulations.
Cool.
Okay, I got this. You know what? I'm going to do 5, 10 question things. Oh no, I don't got this.
Yeah.
Or yeah, I'm nailing this. Let me move on. And with the 7 day, being able to see the flows, and I was breaking them down on Lucid Chart. It's a part of Excel, but
Yeah.
I was making my own charts, as the video was going.
Nice.
And it was really helpful. And then um, I would be teaching it actually to my wife, which really helped. I think the best way to learn anything is to teach it, and that's probably where the breakdown question stuff helps,
Yeah.
because you have to break it down, but at the same time you're teaching the other people in the group, whether you're right or wrong or know it or don't. Explaining it verbally, teaching someone, breaking it down for others, you're learning it probably the best way. So that's definitely helpful.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I found that too. Like for me personally, like teaching has helped me learn a lot deeper and to get it across and to realize, heck, I don't know it as well as I thought I'd know it, and finding different ways. But the students, I've been really surprised with how effective it's been there to say, you don't know it, but whatever, just explain it the best you can. And then you'll get through it and you'll find another way to explain it. And it kind of breaks down some of the barriers to be like, yeah, I don't have it totally now, but I'm getting there and I'm working through it. And yeah, so it helps
Yeah,
a ton.
exactly. Especially when you see all 4 questions, and when you can explain it and teach it, and you're covering all the bases. You say, okay, I know exactly why these three are wrong, and I can explain because of what process group they fall in, or because of various words in the question. That's when you really know you're on the ball, you're on the right track. And
Nice.
and when you can just go through 10, 15 questions and explain every single answer, where it would belong if the question was changed, or why it's not there. You go through 10, 15 questions like that on random, and that's probably a good starting point to say, okay, I can take this test.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's basically how you knew that, like, hey, I could study more, I could do those things, but at this point, I think I'm prepared. Is that the point when you knew that, or was there a point when you're like, all right, I got this thing? Like, I'm not going to move the date. I feel pretty confident. Like, what was that moment when you knew that you were ready to go?
Well, there's a couple, and then there was, a couple backpedal ones where, I think I just started getting way too burnt out, because I set my date in the beginning. I set it 9 weeks ago, and because I said if I don't set it, I'm just going to study, and then maybe I'll give up, maybe I'll drag it out. I want a set date, and I didn't really make out a plan. It was just basically every minute that was free went to studying.
Yeah.
So there was a couple of that where I'm just like, wow, I'm really burnt out. Every answer, every question looks the same.
Yeah.
I don't know where I'm helicoptering in.
Yeah.
Why this guy's so proud that he's developing a charter, things of that sort, where, in the little factory. And I started getting too burnt out, and I was like, wow, maybe I need to take a step back. And it was good. One thing that Frank told me that he did, he said, I didn't study it all the night before.
Yeah.
He said, I was really, let the dust settle.
Yeah.
And I kind of did the same thing, but I went through a 200 question test. I was like, this isn't really studying.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to fill more in. I'm trying to get stuff out. And
I
think that helped. I went through a 200 on the PMI website.
Yep.
Like a 72. And it said that I failed. It said that you need an 80 on the PMI website.
Whatever.
So that was a little disheartening, because
whatever.
And then I'm asking Frank, well, what's a passing score? Why am I failing? No one really knows. 61 probably. Okay.
Yeah.
But Yeah. So
That's cool.
I think the questions are a lot smaller
Yeah.
on the test, which was helpful because when you're on a time, you only get so much time to highlight and strike
Yeah, do all
through
that
stuff
stuff.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you only get so much time to do that. So
And you
it's
didn't
good
write no
advice.
data dump, no nothing like that. You didn't do any of that stuff or what?
All I did was the formulas. I
Yeah.
just did BP,
There you
and
go.
then I basically memorized it. I think it
Yeah.
was like EEVT and then attic, like
Yeah.
up in the attic, ATAC.
Yeah. Whatever it takes to get it there,
Yeah,
right?
and you basically had it.
Yeah.
EAC jumps EAC and lands and then splits into two. You got to come
You
up
had
with
your
something.
own way getting there. Yeah. So as long
Yeah,
as I got you most of the way and you make it your own, so that's good.
exactly,
Yeah. That's
exactly.
good. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
Now you
I
do
like
it.
that
Go
with the
ahead.
BPSC that you did, and you drew the two lines out, and then because I was trying to figure out, well, how do you come up with BPSC, and then I just put the SC in the middle of those two
Yeah.
loops,
Yeah.
and how they split, so it made
There you
sense
go.
for me.
There you go.
Mhm.
Whatever makes sense for you. Yeah, that works. Now, do you think like going through the PMI stuff and the questions and thinking about it has made any impact on maybe not, obviously not going to put everything into your current work, but like any part of it you bring it back and you're like, yeah, I can tighten my game up a little bit as far as project management, anything in that neighborhood about like actually
Yeah,
becoming,
I definitely think it did. I think it did. I don't know if it's a mental thing or something else, but you almost feel like you have to conduct yourself a little bit differently.
yeah,
Even if it's as much as just using full sense, not one word answers,
yeah,
making sure everything's in writing. Um, you know, praise and publishing projects.
yeah. It makes sense. Makes sense. You're breaking up.
25 projects at a time that are between a week and 3 weeks long.
Yeah.
Um, so it's a lot crazier than being able. Okay, let's call a meeting. Let's get these guys in a room. Let me
Yeah.
let me mind map this, all that stuff. We don't have that
Don't
time,
have that time or luxury. Yeah. You got to produce.
but it definitely does make you feel like you have to adhere to a different caliber of um,
Yeah.
effectiveness, production, how you behave, how in your dealings and everything with the customers and stakeholders and all that. Make sure everyone that is associated with the project gets some type of say and
Yeah.
is and that you're accountable to all of it.
That makes sense. That sounds
Yes.
good. I mean, that's a win. Like, you got to make it work for you because your projects are crazy and you're pumping them out and stuff. So, yeah, I think that definitely be an improvement. Now, there's probably a bunch of people out there that are like you. They're like super busy. They got to get this thing done. Don't have a ton of time. They don't want to waste their time and they want to have like a logical approach. If they're in their spot and they see kind of themselves in you, what would you tell them if they're kind of like at that point where they're like, I don't know if I should do this or I'm going to do this? Like, what would be your advice to them about how to go ahead and do it? Like, how would they go about it?
Um, you mean like to just commit to the test, or like with how to navigate this program that I did?
Well, even before they like got into any whatever you think is the most impactful. Like some people are like just on the fence. Like, I don't know if I should do it or not, or I don't know the method by which I should do it. Stuff like that. Like,
I think it definitely makes you stand out. I think it makes me stand out.
mm-hmm,
I haven't seen many people with MBA and PMP after
mm-hmm,
their names, so that was one plus for me. And I think with the economy, with the world, how everything's going, having a certificate that doesn't matter what industry you are in, it'll
mm-hmm,
get it'll get you pretty far into the door,
mm-hmm.
much more than other people, because you don't have to know about nuclear energy
Yeah,
or to run a project. You don't have to know about Amazon and shipping and distribution and stuff like that. If you can run a project and you can work with people, you can build a team. Um, they can tell that from that certificate,
right.
and not only that, that
that you have the know-how, you have the wherewithal, you have the you have the stamina to work through any problem
Yeah.
and succeed with it, regardless of how long it takes. This person will not give up. That's kind of what I see when I see those letters.
That's awesome, dude. And as far as like, so like we got them off the fence now. Now there's a lot of different ways to do this, like the memorization and the whatever boot camp way, or the way you did it, with like listening and doing the accelerator stuff. Like, what would be your guidance for like the best possible way to go through that they can, make sure that they're successful at the end and not give away a bunch of time?
What's kind of interesting is I actually took a few memory classes before I did this.
Yeah.
And I learned up on like memory palaces and things of that
Okay.
sort. So I get a lot of visualization. I'm at the driveway, and I'll see the calendar holding a dollar sign, and I know, okay, and I'm looking through a telescope to see the calendar. So I got scope, schedule, cost, and then right afterwards, you want to have your resources be quality. So you got quality resources that you're using your money on, and I go through the house, and I make a lot of memory palaces like that.
Okay.
I ring the doorbell, and I have to communicate about risks because there's people in the neighborhood trying to procure people to their team or whatever. I made these memory palaces that kind of work for me.
Cool.
And I would say just definitely beat it in. Don't try to memorize plans, but associate plans. I would try to learn the flows.
Yep.
And associate something with something anything you're learning with something that you already know.
Right.
If you can associate in that way, and just try to find someone to teach it to a year, and if it sounds like, hey, I could explain this to someone and they would understand, then you're learning. You're on the right track. I think that's going to cut out a lot of time.
That sounds awesome, dude. All right, man. Well, I mean, you did really, really good. I'm glad we were able to help you. And I think you give a lot of good insights about, like, I love the thing about like breaking it down to something that you can relate to. Like, that's the biggest part. Like, this isn't just like some random thing we're doing on the side. It's like, should be part of your work or life. If you can relate to that, you're good to go. And then, and pushing through like that. So, yeah. So I really appreciate it, dude. If there's anything else I can do for you to help you out, let me know. You did a great job. So glad we were able to give you some assistance. So simple as that, dude.
Definitely. I'm glad you don't go out of your way to make things sound boring. You got a very exciting, voice, exciting personality. You're excited about the topic.
Right on.
And I was just so glad I could listen to someone talk about it that wasn't putting me to sleep. And that is a gift, because this is a daunting topic, and it's very linear the way that most people explain it. So to be able to understand the flow and hear from someone that's like, excited about it and has that voice where it's almost, kind of like mine, where it's like, oh, you got to listen to this. This is what's going on.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's it's good to be kept awake and being able to learn this stuff. So I'm glad you have that. Not many do.
All right, appreciate it. Yeah, it's hard to learn when you're asleep, unfortunately.
Yeah.
The first thing at PMI, stay awake, and then you can learn. They haven't figured that part out yet, but once they do, they're going to be onto it. All right, man. I appreciate it. Hope you have a good night, and good job again. You did well. See ya.
Thanks,
yes, sir. Adios. Yep.